Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Independent Professional Seed Association's 33rd Annual Conference. I am on the ground today at the last day of the conference with Todd Martin, who is the CEO of the Independent Professional Seed Association. We are so excited to get to chat with him this morning, and it's nice to see you this morning, Todd.
Thanks, Alex. It's good to see you, too.
Awesome. Well, we were gathered here today, and I mean, it's the first time we've been here in 2 years. The last time we were at a conference together was in 2020, right before the world shut down. So
that's right.
How has the conference been going so far?
You know, actually, we've been really lucky. The conference has been great. We've got 417 people here. We had 489 registered. We did have some travel problems with people and some flight cancellations. And then, of course, we had people at the last minute that said they couldn't come because of COVID. And we understand that. I mean, this is a different time for us. But 417 people that have been ecstatic about being able to be together again. And it's been a lot of fun. And we've had great speakers, and we've only had one speaker glitch out of 24 speakers or so that we have. So we're very excited about the content. It's been an exceptional meeting.
That is absolutely fantastic. One speaker glitch when, you know, I'm sure there are much more that could go wrong on Zoom.
Well, yeah, that's right. There was no Zoom. I think there were a few people that kind of looked around and said, can I do email when they're in the main session? And like, oh no, I have to listen and pay attention because it's live and real. The one speaker glitch we had was just somebody that misunderstood their time. So it all worked out good.
Perfect. We've had a lot of different sessions right now, ranging from plant-based proteins to kind of Washington, D.C. updates. What has been your favorite that you've gotten here?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I tell you what, Alex, this year we did some work with ICIA. They're doing their Corn Belt Seed Conference in combination with us. And so they pushed in a little bit different direction for some breakouts than we normally do. So we've had several breakouts around agronomics, but then we also picked up some really trendy things, plant-based proteins, as you talked about. We had a great session on carbon and how to handle carbon in ag, and it's all around trying to help our companies know what's happening so when somebody asks about it, they can talk about it. We had a great session on innovations in the energy area put on by Tom Smirch at Growmark. I mean, it's been a very, very good thing from that standpoint. So those have been our breakouts. I have to say, Vikram Manchramani, who was our keynote for yesterday, was incredibly interesting. He really looks at things globally, and he's an economist, and we got some great stuff there. And we just finished with Ted McKinney, who's the head of the NASDA. It's hard to pick and say, I think this was the best, but I do have to say our last session is with Jake Wood, who is the CEO of Team Rubicon. He's a former Marine Force Recon guy, and he started a Team Rubicon, which is a first responders outfit. I'm really looking forward to him. So I can't pick a favorite. Right now, I'm just excited. We've had some tremendous sessions.
Perfect. No, that's fantastic, especially because a lot of the sessions tied together. I feel like what you mentioned, Dr. Vikram, as well as Ted McKinney, they both tied together in talking about trends that are happening, especially around economics and policy in the agriculture and seed industry sector, which kind of brings me to my next question. I wanted to ask you, for your members, what do you see as the biggest concern that they're facing right now?
You know, that's a good question. There have been a lot of things that have been happening in the world over the last 24 months since we've been together. You know, one of the things is there is a framework that's proposed by the EPA that I think is probably one of the most critical frameworks that the EPA has ever put out, maybe since the advent of BT in 1994-95 when it came into the marketplace. It's a framework that could change the entire way that we go to market with BTs, the entire way that farmers are able to access biotechnology and the products that they can access. And this is something that we've been working on for about the last 16 months in coordination with ASTA, American Seed Trade especially. And we're trying to continue to work there to get a good outcome that is going to benefit not only our seed companies but farmers. So that, for me, is the number one critical issue. I think the other thing that comes out is something that we continue to see. there's a lot of talk, with the Biden administration about competition in the ag industry and what's happening there, and in particular around seed. And, one of the things that I know independent seed companies bring to the marketplace that is so important is competition and the way that they go to market and the business that they actually do with farmers in a very unique style. So, we're very supportive of what's happening in those discussions, but it's something important that we need to keep watching out for. So really, two big things, the EPA and the competition work going on with the administration, both pieces in Washington, which has caused IPSA to have to evolve. We always are great friends and allies with American seed trade, but we've had to decide that in a few issues we need our own help in Washington. And so we've hired Laura Peterson, who now works with us as our Washington person, and that's been a good move for us.
Fantastic. And what is kind of Laura's role? What does she do in Washington to kind of help y'all out?
Everything. How about that? She helps us set up, meetings to have our voices heard, whether we're talking to the USDA, whether we're talking to the EPA, whether we're talking to, congressional offices on the Hill or senatorial offices. She's very well connected and knows people in Washington. So she helps us amplify our voice. And I think a combination of issues where IPSA has a very unique and important voice, we needed that person to help us push there. We certainly get strong support out of ASTA, but every once in a while we need to be able to, also have an individual voice, and that's why we have Laura.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Todd, for joining us
on
this
Alex.
quick Facebook Live. And thank you to all of you. Our day is almost over at IPSA, but that doesn't mean that the content's going to stop. So make sure to stay tuned, and we'll have some more coming at you shortly. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.